Thank you, Partha. Thank you, Partha, and thank you for this session. And like the way you discussed and like told me to introduce myself. Yeah, I have taught you guys like the literary theory classes, and it was an enjoyable session. It was a very attending session too. I am Shankodip. Um, currently doing my research in Banaras Hindu University. Since my dearest senior and colleague Parthoda was telling me that he was about to introduce some European novels, like modern European novels, and when I heard that it was Don Quixote, um, I like showed my interest to him, and he was like, "Okay, so that would be quite a discussion, I guess." But I have a time bound, like I have to conclude amid is that, and also Prashant is there. He is a very dear junior of mine. He will introduce himself too. So I'd like to let Prashant introduce himself first, and then we can. Okay, that's fine. I also hope that my connection stays like well, so that we can go on talking. Uh, okay, so no further delay. Let's talk about something like some novel that has been written in the history of world literature for its like immeasurable paramountcy in the position that it occurs in the world literature. So आज हम लोग मतलब एक ऐसा नॉवल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं जो स्पेन में तो लिखा गया था. इट वाज रिटन ओनली स्पेन, एंड वो भी देयर इज अ पर्टिकुलर classifications of dialects in which it was actually written. So we will go into that. But before that, the interesting thing is why Don Quixote is a classic, and what is Don Quixote? What is a novel? Like you, like Partha has already introduced yourself, people, to that. What is novel? नॉवेल का क्या डेफिनेशन है, नॉवेल का क्या स्ट्रक्चर है, क्या पैटर्न है, कब कब कौन सा हिस्टोरिकल जंक्चर में कौन सा नॉवेल का फॉर्मेशन आता गया, कैसे कैसे नॉवेल लिखा होता गया, लाइक ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला. सो रेगुलर तुम लोग जो नॉवेल पढ़ते हो, दिस इज नॉट लाइक दैट. दिस इज समथिंग that if you can get some time, can read the novel like that, cross up to 725 pages, then I think that will be a life changing experience to you people all. Because तुम लोग जब ये novel, when you will start reading the novel, you will be lost in a world which has long gone, but simultaneously you will feel the urge to be in part of with that world, just to go on with your imagination that you are reading on those pages. So that is a kind of novel. Actually, for the ages, Don Quixote has been read by children and read to children as well. So that is where Don Quixote stands. So, okay, let's dive some aspects about the novel. So, before coming into the novel, let me talk about its writer and its context first. So, the text that we have, it is written in Castilian, the dialect. Castilians, which is actually means Spanish. But once again, I will come to that point why the dialect is so important here in this novel. We all know about Harold Bloom. You must have known about Harold Bloom, who, in his book, The Western Canon, has emphasized on the importance of the book, Don Quixote. I will come into the pronunciation also, because I find a particular thing that when you people should read a novel, or at least try to understand a novel, if you do not pronounce it, the names perfectly, the way it has been written in English or in some different languages, then you will or whatever the source language it is written on, then there is a major gap that you will carry forward throughout reading of your novel. So specifically, I will hint the title while coming to the context. So I was talking about Bloom. So Bloom, in his book, The Western Canon, has emphasized on the importance of the book. He states that the book will affect your lives and your enjoyment and understanding of literature. That is the first modern novel and also political novel as well. Ian Watt, he considered Don Quixote as one of the four myths of modern individualism. You have studied modernism, joined to you for these questions and all. पे एक स्पेशल जगह बना लिया है द होते हैं. And Ian Watt is saying that it is one of the four myths of modern individualism. So other three myths kya kya hai? What is the myths? Like they are the cult, they have achieved the cult status of their position and they celebrate the cultness throughout the ages. So according to Ian Watt, what are the other three cults? They're none but Robinson Crusoe, Don Juan, and Faust by Goethe. Robinson Crusoe is by Daniel Defoe, Don Juan by Byron. So these are the four myths, the four pillars of Western literature as well as the world literature.
Yes, Dr. Foster's related.
Yes, sir.
No, not Dr.
Yes, sir.
Faustus. No, not Dr. Faustus. That's why when you have some confusion, just like pause me, ask me a question. जस्ट तुम जब कोई नाम तुमको मैं बोल रहा हूं तब जस्ट वो नाम सुन के मत रह जाओ जस्ट कीप टॉकिंग लाइक इट्स अ डिस्कशन इट्स अ सेशन वेयर वी आर हाउ टू डिस्कस एंड yeah 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 exactly and I'm here to discuss. Yeah, 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 it's better that if everybody responds sometimes like when you have some questions just मेरे को stop करो ask me questions कि ये जगह समझ में नहीं आया and like we are here for the discussion so some interventions will not be like bad. So yeah, Faust was written by Goethe. It's not Dr. Faustus written in that fashion. Like it's not Dr. Faustus that Parsuda was talking about. It's Faust by Goethe, and the Juan, it's a poem by Lord Byron. Byron was a romantic poet, and you have heard about Daniel Defoe and Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. These are the three other like Carls along with Don Quixote, which represents the world literature. I would request you people if you like just take some notes where I will suggest that will help you people understand the method that I'm introducing this novel to you, because it's a hard task introducing this novel because this is a novel of life, novel of like everything that encompasses in a human imagination. That's why this novel has been translated into like unimaginable countless languages that human imagination can take off to. So it is the second most translated text after the Bible in this world. So it has some importance. So I will request you people to take some notes wherever I suggest and stop me whenever you need. Yeah, so the thing is why? Why this novel like has been like kept on read by millions of peoples throughout the world and throughout the ages, and it bears such a meaning. What meaning it bears to people that it like stands alone for the ages itne salon se like Miguel de la Cervantes and William Shakespeare, they died one day each and after. Cervantes died on 23rd April in 1616. Sorry, Shakespeare died on 23rd April and Cervantes on 24th. So, ek din ke baad, like they were almost the contemporary. So, at that point, yeah, hmm, hmm, yeah. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Exactly, Partha. And I don't think that we can discuss everything about Don Quixote in a single class. So it would be better to have another classes. But today, actually, I will be telling you about the context that it has been written and what it is actually about. What meaning does it carry throughout the ages that has made him that given it the peace status of a cult, and why this is the foremost important text of all time in the world literature, not only in European literature, but the world literature. If you people can manage the book by John Rutherford, the Penguin edition of Don Quixote, John Rutherford is a brilliant critique of the 16th century as well as a modern critique as well. So, John Rutherford, I would suggest you people to take a note of the particular thing that I'm saying right now. It's a quote by John Rutherford. And after you write this quote down, I will discuss a bit of the things and then I will go to the context, the historical context of that novel. So, why this quote is important, I'm coming to that. Now, I request you to write down Miguel de Cervantes. Stop me whenever you need. I will go on spelling.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra, Savedra apostrophe S. Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra's masterpiece, Saavedra, Saavedra's masterpiece has endured because has endured because it focuses it focuses on literature's foremost appeal literature's foremost appeal. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
To become another, after comma, to become another, comma, to leave, to leave a typically embattled self, a typically embattled self for another closure, closer, for another closure to one's desires and aspirations, to one's desires and aspirations. Experience after full stop. You will understand why the quote is
Yes, sir. Yes, सर आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
I'm extremely sorry, I lost my connection. So that's the thing I feared. So yeah, where did I end? Experience and life's blows teaches us our limits. Everybody done till here?
Yes, sir.
And erode, ERRODE, and erode The
Sir,
hope
please
of
repeat
living up,
experience and light.
yeah, experience, yeah, experience and life's blows teaches our limits and erode the hope and erode hope of living up to our dreams. Done? Done?
Living
Yes,
up.
sir. To our dreams.
Yeah, to our dreams. Comma, but our hope never vanishes. But our hope never vanishes. Full stop. The last line. It is the soul's pith. It is the soul's pith, pith, comma, the flickering light of being, comma dekhe, the flickering light of being, comma, ho gaya hai? You people are done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Three dots and the quote ends. Okay, no further elaboration of the quote. So why this quote is so important? Like this novel in like rekindles the last hope of a human hope, like the last hope of human process of hope, which is the flickering light of being, which remains constant after the body is not there, after the soul is not there, after the history is not there, after the time is not there. So that is the Penguin's uh, edition's quote from John Rutherford. If it's better that if you can go through the entire introduction of that edition. So, like, let me tell you some historical aspects and historical context on which, like, this particular novel is based. So, what we about actually, this novel made us participate into an adventure, of our life that is presented through symbols, images, and different medieval and 16th century codes. You all know that the rise of the novel took place in like 18th century, but the precursor of that rise that chiefly lies within the artistic capability of Miguel de las Cervantes. So why Cervantes and Spanish language both are intricately related? The language of Spain, what was it all about? So there are North African Muslim populations who invaded much of the Spanish peninsulas when it was like all in 711. It was a like long time back when North African Muslims invaded much of the Spanish peninsulas. After next several hundred years, the Christian kingdom in the north of Spain began to conquer Muslim lands. So उसके कई वर्षों बाद Spanish people they started to conquer the Muslim lands. It was like a reconquesting those own lands. So during this reconquest, I'm sorry, it's a distraction, I guess. So let the conversation be over. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So reconquest के बाद during the reconquest क्या हुआ था? जो Christians थे वहाँ का स्पेन का, they like reconquered their own lands from the Muslim and Jew community. और उसके बाद in 1479 two of the Christian monarchs, very important, write down these two names, Ferdinand and Isabella. They were the two Christian monarchs who defeated the last Muslim stronghold in Spain, जो रिकॉन्क्वेस्ट से पहले था पूरा नॉर्दर्न स्पेनिश पेनिनसुला में. वहां पे
Sir, Ferdinand and
Isabella, Ferdinand and Isabella, or Isabel, they call it Isabel. So Isabel is more preferable. So right, Ferdinand and Isabel. They together both defeated the last Muslim stronghold. Where it was based on? That the place was called the Kingdom of Granada. Granada is a place in Spain where this stronghold was based on. So Ferdinand and Isabel, they proclaimed their land to be Christian lands from now on. And they converted all the Jews, all the remaining Jews and Muslims. Finally, in the same year, and also coincidentally, that monarch of Ferdinand and Isabel, they were the first monarch in the history who sponsored the world's biggest trip, who made the world's biggest trip, Christopher Columbus. So Ferdinand and Isabel, they like sponsored the first global trip of Columbus. So you might imagine at that point of time when this reign is going on, how powerful and how blatantly glorified the entire Spanish kingdom was, or the entire, especially the northern Spanish kingdom was. How rich, exactly, how rich that they could sponsor the world's largest trip. Ferdinand and Isabel's son, Charles V, who is another important name, write down the name, Charles V, who is the son of Ferdinand and Isabel. He came to the power in 1519, 1519.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, not an issue. Yeah, that's a discussion sessions too. So that's like why these events, why this historical context is so important. Like when I will discuss the novel in detail to you, like you will understand the historical background and how it supports the elementary aspects of novel. Novel का हर एक मोड़ को कैसे historical context influence करता है. So Charles V, take down the note. Ferdinand and Isabel's son Charles V came to power in 1519. और उसके बाद 1547 1547 में सर्वांतिस का जन्म हुआ. Cervantes born in 1547. So look, when Cervantes was born, he didn't born in a land which is like occupied by the North African Muslims, or like almost in a tussle all time, like like absolute calamity around. He born in a country full of wealth. He born in a country full of like power and like money, wealth, and like extreme invigorous curiosity to know what is going on like within the Spanish territory and its outside. So Cervantes उस समय में जन्म लिया. He born on 1547, sorry. उसके बाद एक मेजर इवेंट हुआ जो प्रोफाउंडली इन्फ्लुएंस करता है पूरे नॉवेल को, ये जो नॉवेल को, वो है 1478 में ट्राइब्यूनल ऑफ द होली ऑफिस ऑफ द इंक्विजिशन. once again मैं बोलूंगा, ट्राइब्यूनल ऑफ द होली office of the Inquisition. What is that? Now, this is a tribunal, once again, act, which was formed by Ferdinand and Isabel, obviously, to protect the Catholic orthodoxness, the Catholic orthodoxy in Spain. You might know, before the Renaissance, Spain was a hub of Orthodox Catholicism. It was a, like banner bearer for Catholicism. They like expelled numerous Protestants, numerous Jews and Muslims, and like to influence their like numerous people, yeah, for their for being or either executed or expelled or either converted them to like Catholics. So ये हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड है, ये हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड जानना इसीलिए जरूरी था क्योंकि तब से लेके आज तक like if in 21st century if you look at एक मूवी डायरेक्टर का नाम तुम लोगों को मैं बोलता हूं, अगर पॉसिबल हो तो ये छोटा वाला एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री है, देखना। टेरी गिलमैन, टेरी गिलमैन का एक मूवी है लॉस्ट इन ला मांचा which came out in 2002. Terry Gilman is a person, I'm like differentiating a bit, like he's a director who like envisions himself in that documentary as Don Quixote. He's going to an adventure with his knight Sancho Panza. और एक मूवी आया था टेरी गिलमैन का ही 2018 में, द मैन हु किल्ड डॉन quijote. ये एक लूज एडेप्टेशन था, but the documentary is like so important that it encapsulated all the aspects of the novel in just like one hour and 40 minutes. तो मिगुएल दे ला सर्वांतेस जिसके बारे में हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, ये ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन नहीं किया है अपने लाइफ में. He haven't written much books, much thick books. कुछ किताबें लिखे थे, उनमें से most of the pieces were like pastoral pieces. Sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Very, very like a picturesque life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had like, yeah, he has gone through a lot series of like events in his life. He got kidnapped by pirates. Yeah, yeah, mm, yeah. There are several. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Samudri Daku. Very eventful life. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. या दैट या एक्चुअली या ये जो प्लेस के बारे में बात हो रहा है, आई मीन दैट वेयर लाइक ट्रेजेडी इन सर्वेंटिस's life when his library got burned, and not by himself but one of his attendants who like, जो कि सैंचो पांजा का इमेज है सर्वेंटिस का रियल लाइफ में. सो या पार्ट टू, या
Yes, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Partha, for information. Yeah. So you have heard the importance of that particular author and why his life is so much associated with the novel that he has written. तो ये जो प्लेस की बात कर रहे थे पार्थोदा, तो it's like he has written several pastoral plays like La Galeta, or like there is another work that is a collection of short novels, like 12 novels, 12 exemplary novels, 12 stories, like short novels. Yeah, it's, so he has written some kind of that bits and pieces, but he went on exploring through his writing wherever he was. क्या नहीं हुआ है उसके साथ. He has been kidnapped by a pirate and then once again sold, उसको बेच दिया slave leader के पास एक जहाज में उसको बेच दिया गया. ठीक है, तो उसके बाद जब वो वहां से समुंदर में कूद के वो भागा, ये रियल कहानी है, मतलब कहानी है बट रियल है. It has happened with an author of the world's greatest book. So उसके बाद सारवंतिस ने जब yeah, coming to this context of misfortune, it has so many connotations. I mean, it has all so many connotations, but the most important aspect is the author's life is the novel, and the novel is the life of the world. That is the basic thing of to introduce Don Quixote. So now मैं ये टाइटल को लेके, मैं अब हिस्टोरिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट के बाद ये जो आया है, मतलब 1605 में इसका फर्स्ट पब्लिकेशन हुआ स्पेनिश में. 1605
1605.
1605 में
Yes, sir.
ओरिजिनल पब्लिकेशन हुआ इसका पार्ट 1 का, वो भी स्पेनिश में. और उसके 10 साल बाद सेकंड पार्ट आया उसका
1615.
1615. या पर इसका जो इंग्लिश पब्लिकेशन है वो 1612 में आया फर्स्ट पार्ट,
Yes, sir.
और उसके 8 साल बाद
1620.
पार्ट 2 आया. तो ये जो गैप है बीच में 5 से लेके 15 तक, 12 से लेके 20 तक, इसके पीछे भी रीजन है कि क्यों इतना गैप देके ये ट्रांसलेशन हुआ है, क्या मोटिव था. So till now, I guess you people have a general understanding on the context, on the historical context of the historical setup where the novel is actually standing. And remember one thing, when you are reading of some text, some classic from 16th century, you must know उसके कुछ 100 साल पहले ही medieval age pass out हुआ है. medieval age का tremendous impact लेट 14-15 सेंचुरी तक रहा. medieval age का impact का मतलब क्या है? What do you mean by the impact of the medieval ages? moral codes moral codes which drove many young enthusiasts to pursue the career of a knight, to practice knight errantry. knight क्या है? knight is someone who travels. तुम लोग बहुत सारा वेब सीरीज भी देखे हो, लाइक मॉडर्न HBO वेब सीरीज लाइक गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स एंड ऑल. वहां पे नाइट्स चलते रहते हैं एक देश से लेके एक देश तक, और वो नाइट खुद को इसीलिए पहचान करवाता है कि मैं इस जगह का नाइट हूं और मैं पूरा ऐसे घूम रहा हूं. एंड थ्रू हिज जर्नी ही एनकाउंटर्स अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल. ही गोस टू सेवरल इंस. वो बहुत रेस्तोरां में जाता है, वो बहुत लोगों से मिलता है, वो बहुत तरीके का, बहुत पेशाओं की लोगों से मिलते हैं, उनके एवरीडे लाइफ पे वो बात करते हैं उन लोगों से. एंड देन ही गोज ऑन टू fulfill his duty. What is his duty? To protect the weak at that society, to protect the weak, to protect the honor of the woman, to protect the senility of a society, to build a better world by fighting in one hand. That was the ethics of a knight. So that ethics has influenced a lot the late 14th century, 15th century world literature, not only European literature or British literature. Sorry. Yeah, I was about to come to that, but the thing is, pastoral elegies, romances were pieces of literature that formed much earlier, and that was actually very integrated with the part of people's everyday life when they used to read about them, but they did not used to much create those pastoral novels. So at that, why they did not create that has a reason. Yeah. Yeah. In a form, these modern knights, they are the picaro, what you call at that particular, to call that particular name, they were the picaro. That's why this genre picaresque novel, or like Moll Flanders or Don Quixote, like these are the picaresque heroes. So picaresque novel, pastoral romances, these were the tales about, stories about knights, gallantry. These were the like very celebrated genres of literature in the 16th century, early 16th century. Rise of the novel तो 18th century में हुआ, हम लोग को सबको पता है, but I told you novels developed at the wake of Don Quixote. क्यों? In Cervantes' time, जो पार्थोदा बोल रहा था, there were chivalric romances, stories about knights, I told you, errands, pastoral romance, stories about fake shepherds. People used to fake them as shepherds. Shepherds are like very calm and quiet figure moving from villages to villages with livestock, or pickers, हाँ, जो भेड़ बकरी चरा रहे,
Yes, sir.
ऐसे 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 लोगों के बारे में कहानियां बनता था सर्वंतिस के टाइम में. द मॉडर्न नॉवल, ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है द मॉडर्न नॉवल, ये सब थीम के ऊपर इमिटेट करके और कॉपी करके फ्रांस और इंग्लैंड में बनाया गया है. कब? 18th सेंचुरी में, जब रिचर्डसन, पामेला एंडरसन लिख रहा है, या रॉबिन्सन क्रूसो, डैनियल डिफो लिख रहा है, ऑल दीज novels, epistolary बोलो, episodic novels बोलो, कुछ regular novels बोलो, these novels, they have the echo of the plot and setting of Cervantes' era. Now, coming to the aspect of pronunciation and why it is important, the name of the novel and its protagonist is often mispronounced. What I have seen, like I have talked about Don Quixote to I've been talking about Don Quixote since my graduation days to people. Now I have seen there that they often mispronounce it, and why they mispronounce it, that has a reason, and I will tell you that right now. In Spanish, it is actually not Quixote, but Quixote. It's not Quixote. There is no longer ho. स्पेनिश में जो वावल साउंड्स है, वो वावल साउंड्स बहुत ही क्रिस्प है, बहुत ही ब्रीफ है, उसको ज्यादा देर इलोंगेट नहीं किया जाता है. सो द वावल साउंड्स आर वेरी क्रिस्प, सो इट्स की होते. नाउ, अब तुम लोगों का माइंड में ये क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, अगर की होते प्रोनाउंसिएशन है और ये क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है नॉवेल के लिए, वो भी फर्स्ट चैप्टर में ही तुमको दिखेगा. अगर ये की होते इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो ये एक्स कहां से आ गया? Where does the vexing X come from? इसका रीजन है, when the book was written in the last years of 16th century and the first year of 17th century, जब ये किताब लिखा जा रहा था उस समय 17th और 16th सेंचुरी के एकदम बीच में, तब द साउंड ऑफ ज जे ज का जो साउंड होता है स्पेनिश में, वो एक्चुअली एन अरबिक इन्फ्लुएंस है. ज you will hear several Arabic sounds like ja, bezuban, like that's kind of thing, la zabab. So that jaw sound is very important in Arabic diction, and that had an influence on Spanish colloquials. So जब ये नॉवेल लिखा जा रहा था, एट द पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, ये एस्पिरेटेड ह जो है, ये जो एस्पिरेटेड ह द कीहोते, ये दिस वाज एक्चुअली स्टिल टू बी कोडिफाइड स्पेलिंग ऑफ द लैंग्वेज. इसको कोडिफिकेशन नहीं मिला था एक लैंग्वेज में यूज करने के लिए य को. सो देयर इज एक्स, लाइक आई एम गिविंग यू एन एग्जांपल, अ वेरी लूसिड एग्जांपल. तुम लोग साबुन लगाते हो, तो ये जो साबुन तुम लोग लगाते हो, सोप, ये साबुन, you know, it's a Spanish word. In Spain, sabun is called jabon. Jabon, Jabon. It's O के ऊपर एक लेख है, इस jabon. Now, after that, after that introduction of that aspirated H, क्या हुआ? ये स्पेनिश लोग j साउंड के बदले ह और x लगाना शुरू कर दिए. And it was pronounced as Shabon, not Jabon, but Shabon. So it's not Don Quixote, but Don Quixote. So you understood the importance of the pronunciation, why it is Don. It's Don, not Don. Don is who is a respectful person, a sir.
Yes, sir.
तुम लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है ना?
Yes, sir.
Whatever we are discussing,
Yes,
you're
sir.
understanding,
Yes,
like,
sir.
okay. Respond sometimes, it feels good. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So हाँ, और कभी भी क्वेश्चन है तो बोला करो, लाइक, और नोट डाउन किया करो कुछ कुछ चीजों का. श्योर, श्योर. ऐसा नहीं है, बट यस, जस्ट लाइक, नो 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 नो.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, then
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
all.
Thank you so much, sir.
All. Thank you all, and we will meet soon. We'll discuss about the title in detail, and then the actual context and where the story falls, and then perhaps we'll take 1 or 2 classes, and then we'll sum up. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.